Assalamualaikum Madam, good afternoon. We are from Group NBSA 8B. I would like to introduce our group members. My name is Siti Aminah MADIHAH binti AZMAN. Secondly, NURFADHILAH binti Muhammad TIMYATI. Thirdly, Siti Nur IDAYU binti JAMALUDIN. Fourth, Muhammad Nur AZAM bin Abdul WAHAB. Lastly is Nur AMIRAH ZAYANAH binti ZULHARI. In this chapter, researchers will discuss the background of the study about the unemployment among graduates. There we also highlight how this research will be beneficial to contribute to the parents, contribution to the students, and contribution to the body of government and education in the next two chapters. The objective of these studies, firstly, to study and investigate the relationship between job mismatch and graduate unemployment. Secondly, to study and investigate the relationship between English proficiency skill and graduate unemployment. Thirdly, to study and investigate the relationship between skill shortage and graduate unemployment. Lastly, to ascertain which factor influence graduate employment the most. First, I'm going to present about background of the study. Unemployment was unexpected problem that can be emerged in any nation across the world. Most people cannot find a job even if they want to work. Government should strive to implement policies to reduce the unemployment rate. Individuals who did not have a job but were now actively looking for a job and volunteer to work can be defined as unemployed. In this slide, we can see research questions. This study's research question were, firstly, is there any relationship between job mismatch and graduate employment? Secondly, is there a relationship between English competency and graduates employment? Thirdly, is there a relationship between a lack of skill and graduate unemployment? Lastly, which factors most influence employment graduates? In this slide, I would like to discuss about significance of research. Unemployment was a culture that now raised rapidly nowadays, especially during this pandemic COVID-19. However, there were still people that were unemployed which fresh graduate even before this pandemic occurs. The study gave emphasis students, parents, and the governments. The result of the study will be more beneficial to the group below. Firstly, contribution to parents. Parents were the main role in influencing their children since children were adapted through their surroundings. If parents pay attention to their children's performance at university, they are more likely to achieve more successful outcome. This can make them become more disciplined, confident, and well prepared to enter the working environment. Secondly, contribution to the students. High unemployment rate among fresh graduates will give a wake-up call to students. This study gives a better picture for the students to upgrade themselves in every factor which is advanced and market themselves to be employed. The end of this study raise students aware which is it will benefit their futures. Lastly, contribution to the body of government and education. Government should hire citizens compared to hire foreign workers. With that, fresh graduate can get the opportunity and better experience to work after their studies. It will be an advantage to Ministry of Higher Education and other organizations to encourage the youngster to get such jobs, get higher and generates income. The next one is limitation of study. COVID-19 was a serious restriction of numerous research, including these ones, because of the researchers cannot meet and discuss together the study. The study was limited by time constraint. The researchers must sacrifice their time and effort to finish it in less than 3 months. In this way, they could not meet up with each others. Now, I would like to present about 4 definition terms. According to the finding of investigation, the following words were defined. Firstly, unemployment. Unemployment, it can be defined as a devastating phenomenon for graduates, as it affects various parts of their personal life, especially for graduates who took study loans. Secondly, is job mismatch. Job mismatch is defined as the object of a vast amount theoretical and empirical literature, not only in economics, but also in psychology and sociology. The third is English proficiency. English proficiency is a key factor for job advancement and success in good command of English to open the door to economic opportunities. The last one is lack of skill. Lack of skill gap can be a form of general mismatch and is a type of skill mismatch. That's all.
Assalamualaikum. My name is NURFADHILAH binti Muhammad TIMYATI. Okay, today I would like to present my slide, the relationship between two job matches and unemployment among graduate. Okay, for this, there is a positive relation between job mismatch and unemployment among graduate due to job inability and the need to income. So they plus the positive relationship of graduate unemployment arises between the graduate qualification obtained and the job opportunity in the market, and then they plus the relationship when most the participant strongly agree that not many skill the requirement in the market, and there is an imbalance between skill demand and skill supply. Okay, the hypothesis is there is a relationship between job mismatch and employment among graduate. The next slide is there are hypothesis 2. Okay, there is positive relationship between English proficiency and employment and plus the results. So they are negative relationship between English proficiency and employment. Okay, plus the findings show the factor don't have a reverse relation with the difficult of employment within the country, although English proficiency in is with vitals. Okay, the result hypothesis 2 is they are received between English proficiency and employment among graduate. Okay, the next slide for the hypothesis 3 is a graduate doesn't ready to answer the interview and also a feel anxiousness when affect the interviewer because the student cannot be coffee level or confident for to answer the question for interviewer season. Okay, plus the 5 important soft skill criteria requirement by employees within the workplace in important order are communication skill, teamwork, deciding, problem solving, creative and critical thinking, and the last one is the program and project management skill. And then the result for hypothesis 3 is there are relationship between lack of skill and employment among graduate. For the next slide is a literature review. Okay, for this slide have a 3 point. For the first point is job mismatch. From job mismatch, this vacancy where for the low skill, job only requirement primary education and are not stable. For the fresh graduate, as reported in the paper The Start 2018. And then the graduate not apply the job relate the qualification, and then many student have a same cost for the job match that. And then we have a treatment and condition for the high expect workplace, and cause the mismatch as a factor unemployment among the graduate. Okay, the second point is the English proficiency. Okay, from this point, attention and employability skill among a new graduate. Okay, from there, the graduate must have communication skill, and then English language proficiency can be creative as the ability of a learner communicated in the English. English means is both vocal and written context in order to use various structure English. And then graduate must have a skill strengthened communication skill, enable business to thief creative trust with peer and consumer, and extend international relationship. And then the last part is lack of skill. Okay, lack of skill, graduate must be priority their English language proficiency and communication skill as it a greater graduate employment ability. And then graduate must have a soft skill element, make sure ability communication in English language means communication, critical thinking and problem solving. Must work as a team, develop system proposal, and then identify business opportunity, entrepreneurial skill, applied ethnic principle, and have a plan, supervise, monitor and lead. So mean leadership, good relationship, interact and work efficiency, lifelong learning in information management to professional skill. The next slide is the underpinning theory for this project. Research kinesis theory, John Maynard Keynes 1930. See, kinesis theory is prediction of concept of dynamic economy. It a process as a general theory which a very wide application altogether. Situation like unemployment, near full unemployment, and particular unemployment. People are still trying their luck to argue unemployment is rising. Furthermore, Keynes claim that more stress and aggregate demand on workers within the determination of income. Thanks to pandemic COVID-19 issue, many employees has a big lack of the stabilized company economy. The effect increases in percentage. next slide is a theoretical framework. Okay, from this slide you can see a theoretical framework 1. So we have a job mismatch, English proficiency, and employability skill. So the independent variable in employment. So the theory framework 1, from the factor influencing employment among graduates in Malaysia, and overview general economy and suitable development. Okay, the second framework 2 is the lack of skill, attitude, and unstable economic. So unemployment, depend variable. So the theoretical framework, from the high rate employment among graduate in Malaysia in general media and society. For the next slide, the conceptual framework. Okay, from there you all can see the job mismatch, English proficiency, and lack of skill for independent variable. And then the dependent variable is unemployment. Okay, from the conceptual framework, on the relationship between job mismatch, English proficiency, and lack of skill among UiTM graduate is student is puncak alam. The depend variable of this study is a relationship between job mismatch and employment. For hypothesis 2 is a relationship between English proficiency and employment, and the last of hypothesis 3 is the relationship between lack skill and employment.
Assalamualaikum to Dr. Shukrina. Okay, my name is Siti IDAYU binti JAMALUDIN. Today I will present about research method. Okay, firstly, for research design, the descriptive study design was utilized by researchers for this investigation, and the research identified the answer of factors that cause employment amongst graduates. Okay, for the structure instruments was developed for data collection from our unit of analysis. The goal of this study was describe the sort of inquiry that were employed, and the relationship reveals that job mismatch, English competency, and lack of skill all influence unemployment among graduates. Okay, for this study, we are using cross-sectional temporal horizon was adopted. It was intended to gather data only once, maybe over the periods of days, weeks, or months, in the order to determine what factors cause graduate unemployment. Okay, next is population and sampling. A population is a set of elements whose characteristics are to be studied by Chua and Casminder, 2019. Population of this study were alumni of Faculty of Business Management, University Technology Mara, Puncak Alam, in the year of 2017, 2018, and 2019. Okay, for next is sampling technique. The sampling technique for this study will be using non-proprietary, which is a convenient method. Convenient sampling is a popular sampling strategy among students, since it is affordable and simple when compared to other sample strategy, according to Kauf 1953. Okay, for the sampling size, we are using method sample technique and feeder 1996. This is the formula. From the formula, we get total respondent respondent need is 74%, but our group managed to get more than 74 respondent. Okay, for the sample analysis, the exploration units of examination assumed a significant part in deciding and knowing each exploration assertion. Consequently, the unit of investigation can be characterized as a substance that is being decided in logical examination. Dolma as 2010. The unit of examination for this conflict was percent. For the instrument, this part talk about the kind of estimated instrument or the survey utilized in the exam. A review was done on the different segment, the estimation scale utilized, and the measurement used to investigate the information.
Okay, my name is AZAM bin WAHAB. So I will continue about the as for finding and result for the 100 respondent between the job mismatch English proficiency skill and skill shortage divided by age. They are 90.2% is within the range of 20 to 25 years old, followed by 9.8% of them are 26 to 30 years old. As for the gender, there are 25% for male, and female there are 75%. As for material status, show that respondent is 1.5% is marriage and 98.5% of them is still single. As for the level education, show that is was 100% on the degree level. And follow for the year of graduate consists in 2017 there are 11.4%, followed by 24.2% in 2018 and 64.4% in 2019. Test of normality based on the significant level, P is equal to 200 and the significant level is greater than 0.5. The data is assumed as normal. As for the reliability statistic, the overall cron branch alpha for the overall scale is equal to 0.950%. As for the correlation, there is a low positive significant relationship exists between the job mismatch and unemployment result of the correlation. Indicate that the higher job mismatch score are associated with the higher correlation. There is an negligible relationship between the English proficiency and unemployment. The result indicate that the higher English proficiency of the graduate, the higher the graduate are unemployment, but there is no significant. There is a low positive significant relationship exists between the lack of skill and unemployment. Result of the correlation indicate that higher lack of skill score is associated with the higher relationship. Model and summary or ANOVA, it is show all the independent variable lack of skill, job mismatch, English proficiency together explain that 91.0% of the variant is unemployment, which is highly significant, and the model of it fit as the F statistic is 431.158 and the p-value is 0.000, is less than critical value. The registration model is significant. H means that there is a relationship between the dependent variable and independent variable. Based on the largest beta coefficient and its lack of skill, which 8.30% explain of the variant of an unemployment. This conclude that the lack of skill make the strongest unique contribution to explaining the unemployment, where the variance explained by all the variable is the model is controlled for, followed by mismatch where 2.712 variant of unemployment. Next is English proficiency. Male is less of unique contribution to unemployment, 6.9% to the variance of unemployment. The result, they visit the lack of skill job mismatch made a unique and statistically significant contribution to the prediction of employment. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum Doctor, my name is AMIRAH ZAYANAH binti ZULHARI. Today I will explain about hypothesis research. Based on Hypothesis 1. There is positive relationship between job mismatch and unemployment. The supported result is R is 0.438 and P is more than 0.05. The hypothesis show there is low positive significant relationship between job mismatch and employment. Based on the previous finding, there have actual result of the finding is low positive significant relationship. Hypothesis 2. There is positive relationship between English proficiency and employment. The supported result is R is 0.162 and P is more than 0.05. The hypothesis show that negligible relationship between English proficiency and employment. Based on the previous finding of English proficiency in meta-analysis, there is positive relationship between English proficiency and employment among graduates. Therefore, the actual result of the finding is negligible relationship. For the hypothesis 3, there is positive relationship between lack of the skill and unemployment. The result supported R is 0.430 and P is more than 0.05. The hypothesis show that there is low positive significant relationship between lack of the skill and employment. Based on the previous finding, there have actual result of the finding is low positive significant relationship. Recommendation for the future research. Based on the research, it could be implement few recommendations for the next unemployment research. First is changing the population to a place that probably have a high unemployment rate, which is Kuala Lumpur. The sample size Kuala Lumpur is Kampung Baru, since the total B40 are high in that area. Next is the improved sampling technique could be implement non-probability sampling, which is snowball. It could be used frequently. Element in the population have specific characteristic or the knowledge, but they are very difficult to locate and the contact. This issue snowball is great technique because in Kampung Baru, it's quite hard to identify unemployment people because place is not well organized and planned. So this technique easy way to confront those people.
In this research conclusions, graduate unemployment is a serious problem in Malaysia. It has a negative impact on recent graduate because they will be jobless and struggle to find work in the future. However, the government must take action, address this issue, and universities must review their study plans, such as the syllabus, to ensure that they meet needs of employers. In addition, the problems of unemployment is caused by graduate attitude towards jobs that are unrelated to their qualifications. This has the potential to raise graduate unemployment rates. Graduates should not choose jobs in uncertain economic times. If graduates continue to choose jobs, the unemployment rate for graduates will rise. Graduates should change their perception that they will work in the field in which they are studying, and instead be open and willing to learn new knowledge and skill in other fields. Aside from that, universities should implement practical subjects related to soft skill so that students can become acquainted with the skill they will learn when they enter the work environment. Okay, madam, that's all from us. Thank you. Assalamualaikum. Bye.